Okay, so this is the Wednesday, December 20th meeting of the FairTV Commission, called to order at 8:04. Welcome, everyone. So David will not be joining us. He's on vacation. And so the chairman's opening remarks will float until next time. The vice chairperson's report, that's me. I have nothing to report. The secretary's report, Will.
I have nothing to report. Normally, this would be my chance to address the minutes from the previous meeting, but since I wasn't in attendance, I will pass that responsibility on.
Okay, so I will look for a motion to approve the meeting minutes of the November 15th meeting.
So I so move.
Okay, and I'll second it. And all who were present in favor,
Aye.
say aye. And Will, you're abstaining because you were not present, right? Okay, so Luke, it's your turn. Manager's report.
Not too much to report this time. It's been a busy month since last time we talked. We have a lot of meetings. It's been getting a lot of meetings in for the last month, and I know we had the inauguration, which went pretty well. We actually had 3 meetings that night, back to back to back. So we kind of had to, pull all hands on deck to get everything broadcasted live. And I thought, we did a good job at that. Just being able to. I know in the past, usually either just one of those would have been live or none of them, and they would have been recorded, posted a few days later. So being able to get all 3 live broadcasted real time, I think was definitely a positive, and kind of shows the improvements that we've made over the last year or so, or whatever, last 6, 7 months. But yeah, so a lot of meetings. I guess now we're just kind of falling into the end of the year now as far as December, January. So not too much going on next week, and then the holiday break, at least for Christmas and then New Year's. Let's see what else. I mean, the only other thing I have to report, I guess, would be for the Board of Ed Zoom room. Still no status update. I heard back from the IT department over there, and it sounds like they're going back to the vendor to get a new proposal to fix all the issues that they had, and kind of almost replace some of the parts that they originally misordered, or whatever it may be. So it seems like it might be a little bit longer than we expected from that end of it. From the town's end of it, everything is pretty much up and running. I know I talked with Dave Kelly last week. I think he said they're going to start testing using actual Zoom with this equipment rather than WebEx. But that, again, that needs to be extensively tested before rolling it out, just to test the reliability and functionality of everything. But at least from that side of things, it seems like we're making progress and almost fully functional, like how it's supposed to be, turnkey. For the Board of Ed side of things, because it was a little bit of a different setup, I think that's where the vendor felt that they had to choose different equipment that didn't play nice. So now they kind of have to go back and kind of figure things out now. So that's kind of why it's taking a lot longer than we thought. I know, like, originally it was supposed to be done in October, but here we are mid-December, and it's still kind of same as before. So that's kind of how that is.
So I have a couple of questions, if I can.
Yep.
First of all, I think we should all bet the over/under on when the Board of Education room finally gets up and running.
Yeah.
I had a question about the inauguration. Because you did it at the high school, were you using the high school's equipment? I got a little confused.
So yeah, so when we have something like that that's at the school, we obviously we don't have the equipment to bring in our own microphones and all that stuff, speakers and mixers and everything. So when it's at ward like it was, they have a built-in sound system into the whole entire auditorium. So we tap into that system, and then we're able to get the microphones and everything like that on board. So one of the issues that I don't know if you've heard of, but one of the things I mentioned to you guys to give you a heads up was that the microphones that they were using weren't exactly the best for what was being needed. You know, it was set up as a podium, and those microphones they were using were meant to be held up to your mouth, like you know, you're singing or whatever it may be, you're talking into the mic.
Yeah.
They were using it up on the podium, which was, you know, a good 2 feet away from the speaker, and then sometimes even more if the speaker turned his head to talk to the candidates, then it just basically cut out. You couldn't hear a thing.
Right.
So I tried to, I ended up telling, I think I told someone that they had to actually hold the microphone instead of having it on the podium. And then eventually once they realized that, then it was smooth sailing after that. So all the swearings and all that came out perfect. It was just when I think Lamont was speaking, he kept turning away from the mic and didn't really understand that you actually to be in the mic to hear rather than
the very directional mics.
Exactly. I mean, we did, and actually one of the things I did in the grant money that we had, I purchased 2 more sensitive mics to where they pick up more. So any issues like that from moving forward, if we have a setup at ward or whatever it may be, I'm going to bring that mic itself, tap into the mixer, and then we know that it's going to be a, you know, more wider range of vocal pickup.
Right.
This way, hopefully it'll minimize, and it will be, you know, 18 inches high rather than the standard 8-inch mic. So hopefully it should give a little bit more reliability as far as microphones go. So at least that's one thing that moving forward that, you know, we didn't have before that we can try to kind of tweak things out. But I mean, honestly, those remote setups at different locations, it's always been kind of chaos just because, you know, they don't know what they got, and then they come in last minute, and then either they switch it or they use something different. I mean, this one was okay, but of course the microphone wasn't up to par. But you know, hopefully with the new microphone I ordered and then kind of bypassing their mic, that should help things moving forward.
Okay. Thanks for that. The other question I have, I was at a function a couple of weeks ago, and somebody from the RTM, there's a moderator for the RTM meetings, I guess.
Yeah. So they have one guy up front who kind of moderates the whole thing and then kind of runs it more or less.
Right. So I got introduced to her. I can't even remember her name. And she said, oh, why wasn't somebody from FairTV at the last RTM meeting? You don't attend every meeting. Somebody from FairTV does, or I should ask. Does somebody from our FairTV attend every RTM meeting? As
far as like a member or like to broadcast it?
She said, I'm trying to remember. She said she made it sound like we needed somebody from FairTV to give us the okay to go forward. And I couldn't quite understand what she was talking about. Although later I thought she was talking about, it seemed to me that the night that happened, there were multiple things going on and they weren't on the right WebEx. I got really confused, but
yeah, because I know the last RTM, I mean, every RTM meeting I schedule one person on site and then one doing the broadcasting. So there's definitely, I can assure you that there was one guy on site and then the other guy was back at the office doing the broadcasting live streaming.
Well,
so I mean, unless they held, you know what it could have been, and I mean, this we don't really get involved too much, is maybe they had a subcommittee meeting after the RTM meeting and they couldn't figure out the WebEx. There's a lot of times after the RTM, which is we cover the main RTM meetings, but you know, they have, you know, a multitude of different subcommittees within the subcommittee and whatnot, just private meetings. And those are all recorded on WebEx, but FairTV doesn't actually run those.
Right. Now that I think about it, and I'm sorry, I should have made a note at the time. She said we needed somebody from FairTV to let us in. And like they had the WebEx set up, but there wasn't somebody from FairTV to let them into, like we entered this.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't think that's a FairTV responsibility.
No, see, so that's
your responsibility.
so that's kind of where I ran into things in the past is a lot of times people in these subcommittees and boards and the shellfish committee, stuff like that, where it's kind of like what we are, the different commissions.
Right.
They'll have a meeting and they have an issue with the WebEx, and then they'll contact me and say, "Hey, WebEx isn't working." Blah blah blah. Where technically, I mean, yeah, I know tech, so I could help him then, but at the same time, I don't manage the WebExes. Jen
Right.
Carpenter manages them, hands them out, schedules them. So a lot of times I'll just say, "Listen, Jen's the one who handles that. She assigns each WebEx to the meeting." So I think that's probably what happened, if I had to guess.
Right. But you don't determine who gets access to a meeting.
No, yeah. So say like tonight we're on WebEx 2 or 1, whatever it may be. Jen's the one who assigns those and said, Fair TV Commission's on WebEx 1, Board of Finance Commission is on WebEx 2. So she's the one who assigns that and whatnot.
Right. Well, I got the sense that this person had not been the moderator before.
Yeah, so she's new. So the other guy, Mark, he just retired or resigned from his position as the moderator, I think last week. So that would have been her first meeting or whatever it may be. So someone probably said, who usually does the WebExes, and then he's probably said Fair TV because we run the WebExes for the regular scheduled, RTM meetings, but maybe for the subcommittee meeting, they just had no one knew what they were doing, more or less,
That's what it sounds like.
So just, kind of point the fingers,
Right.
and it always falls on us because that's how it is.
Get that.
Yeah, so that's my guess. I mean, if you know any more details, but I could assure you that, the RTM meeting that was scheduled as a regular meeting, we were there, we hosted it, and everything went smooth.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks.
Yep, no problem. And then I guess that's pretty much it for me. The only other thing is that grant, the Peg Pisha grant that I applied for, still waiting to hear back from them. And then other than that, nothing more to report.
Okay, excellent. Thank you. And thanks for making that happen on inauguration night. That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it was nice to be able to, live stream all 3 of those at once, because I know, when I first started, when Jerry was running the thing, there was a few meetings that I wasn't hired yet, but I was just kind of overseeing everything, and they weren't live, and they were updated, 2 days later, and it was a lot of negative feedback, saying, why wasn't this live? This is important, this, that, and the other. So I think being able to get the inauguration live, with the 2 RTM meetings live and the Board of Selectmen live, it was pretty good.
Great work.
Really good. Yeah, it's
Thanks.
definitely moving in the right direction. So thank you for
Thank you.
orchestrating all that. Okay, so next we're moving on to new business, and I had to double check the minutes to see, because I feel like we talked about the schedule for 2024. I feel like we went a little bit around about it. I feel like we started out saying David wanted to make a change to make it 8:30 on the 3rd Wednesday of every month. Lee, I don't know if you remember.
I think that's right.
I think originally he mentioned Tuesday,
He mentioned Tuesday.
and then Paula said that Tuesdays aren't the best. So then I think, circled back and said, well, what if we just do 8:30 on Wednesday? That would work for I think we kind of agreed that 8:30 on Wednesday would work for everybody. That's my remembering.
I think that's exactly right. So then we just had to check with Will that 8:30 on Wednesdays is going to work versus.
I have no objection. Yeah.
Okay. So then I believe we have to vote on it. Is that right?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so is there anyone that will make a motion to vote on our 2024 meeting schedule for FairTV Commission? Okay, Will, and then anybody to second it?
I'll second it.
Excellent, thanks, Lee. All in favor of changing it to 8:30 on third Wednesday of every month? Please say aye.
Aye.
I
Aye. Unanimous? Excellent. And that's a wrap on 2023. Unless Lee has something to say.
I do have one question.
Yeah.
I always get a little bit crazy because I haven't seen a single FairTV email in 2 weeks. And I don't know if I'm missing them or there just haven't been any.
I have not, I sent, well, I was supposed to send it, the agenda out. I sent it to the commission. I have not received any email
So
either.
maybe there weren't any.
For the Fair TV Commission?
Yeah,
The last thing I saw was from Juliana Santiago about the FairTV reports of 12/6/23.
Let's
yes.
see. Last
So maybe-
one.
I just wanted to check to make sure I wasn't missing something. Not that I'm looking for more emails.
Last one I have is the inauguration, which was November 28th was the last we were talking about it.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That was the last thing I have with you guys CC'd on.
Do you not have the thing from Juliana Santiago?
didn't see. I didn't see what you're referencing, Lee. I don't think.
It's
she might have sent that to me separately.
It's the FairTV reports. It's the budget reports. Because you
Yeah, I
guys.
have that. The 12/6. No, she must have sent that to me separately, maybe.
It did come to you separately. She didn't send it actually to FairTV at all. It went to.
Oh yeah, she sent that. She sent that to everyone separately.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that wasn't.
Yeah.
That wasn't to the Fair TV. So So the last one I have is from the November 27th.
Right. Okay.
Yep. So you're not missing anything.
I'm not looking for it either.
Don't worry, Lee. We know where to find you now. So
Yeah.
if something urgent came up, we would track you down.
Elections are over, Lee. We'll be forgotten about for a couple months.
Wasn't there somebody who there was somebody who applied for somebody sent a weird email saying they wanted to apply for the commission position, but I don't know if they did.
Yeah.
So I got put in touch. I think it was someone applying for the vacant Republican position, right? And got put in touch. I offered time for the following week to connect because I think it might have even overlapped with the meeting I couldn't have made because I was traveling the entire week. That person sent back a one sentence email with their availability for that day. And I just decided that I didn't respond. I sent a pretty simple email. So.
And not heard from since.
Yeah, and I haven't heard from since. So I don't know if it's been pursued with the town at all. I haven't heard anything. And if you haven't either, I presume that it hasn't gone anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So stay tuned. Maybe 2024 will bring us a fifth commissioner.
Yeah.
Let's hope Santa leaves one in the stocking.
Okay. So, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Anyone?
So moved.
Right. Second?
Second.
All right. Outstanding, gentlemen. Thanks for joining and have a happy holiday.
Yeah. Happy holidays.
Happy
Safe
holidays.
travels,
And our next meeting will be January 17th at
At 8:30.
8:30 p.m.
Right.
Ready.
Okay. Take care, everybody.
Yep. Take care.
Good
Bye.
night.
Cheers.